Welcome to HumanityWins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to this new episode of HumanityWins.net. This is episode 240 from August the 23rd, of the year 2023. Today's a Wednesday, and today's is The Legend of La Llorona is the title. Is this ghost week kind of week have been going through. I had my episode on ghosts on Monday. Now here on Wednesday we have The Legend of La Llorona, which is a very well-known Mexican story of ghost manifestation, if you want to call it something like that. Kind of a sad story. Don't really know if it was true or not. It's just an urban legend, but it's very well-known, very respected story, because apparently this goes on. Many places in Mexico have said to hear La Llorona, which is basically apparently a very nice lady. She married someone very powerful. That someone had an affair. And when La Llorona found out, she decided to drown in a moment of desperation, a temporary craziness moment, decided to drown her children and then kill herself, and forever be kind of roaming around as a ghost, crying. That's why La Llorona means the crying one, the crying lady or something like that. So apparently she's out there crying for her children. Ay mis hijos is apparently what people hear, which will be all my children, like in a kind of way of really regretting what she did, of killing them. There are these stories, the legend has evolved that if you're close to a river and you hear La Llorona, and if you are with children, they are at risk, physical risk, because apparently she will snatch them and stuff like that. That's the part of the story that gets very crazy. Anyhow, I was able to find a very good video in English that explains the story perfectly, to be honest. So how about we watch that video together, and then I give you my final thoughts on this very short Wednesday episode, on this kind of ghost week, finally sharing this newfound interest I have in ghosts, because kind of came to me like a month ago that maybe we all have been ghosts, maybe we're all gonna be ghosts somehow, just a transitional, confused state between experiences. So, it's better that we talk about it and we kind of embrace it, so we're not afraid of it. And maybe, we start understanding what are these manifestations we see, because clearly there's something there. There's too much evidence that ghosts exist. So there's something there for sure. For many years, I thought it was just energy imprints, kind of energy left behind, not really a being controlling that energy. Right now, I think it's a manifestation of a being that is out there in what is called the astral, the 4D, kind of a metaphysical plane between realities that is trying to come back to Earth, trying as much. I mean, I believe it could appear in front of our eyes, they will do it, but they just are physically unable to do it. That's why they do it through electricity, through turning things on, through turning televisions on, by moving doors. That's how they kind of give a sense, kind of share with us that they're there. There's probably a desperation of trying to communicate, okay? So let's watch this very good short clip on the story of La Llorona, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the short Wednesday episode on this kind of ghost week we are having right now. Let's watch it together.
This North American legend goes that in a rural village, there lived a young woman named Maria. Maria came from a poor family but was known around her village for her beauty. One day, an extremely wealthy nobleman traveled through her village, but stopped in his tracks when he saw Maria. Maria was charmed by him, and he was charmed by her beauty. So when he proposed to her, she immediately accepted. Maria's family were thrilled that she was marrying into a wealthy family, but the nobleman's father was extremely disappointed he was marrying into poverty. Maria and her new husband built a house in the village to be away from his disapproving father. Eventually, Maria gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, but her husband was always traveling and stopped spending time with his family. When he came home, he only paid attention to the children, and Maria knew her husband was falling out of love with her. One day, he left and never returned. Years later, as Maria and her twins were walking by a river, she saw a familiar carriage with a younger, beautiful woman next to her husband. Maria was so angry and confused that without thinking, she picked up her two children and threw them in the river, drowning them. Only after she saw their bodies floating in the river, she realized what she had done, and she jumped into the river hoping to die with her children. Now she spends eternity looking for her children around the river. It is said that if you hear her crying, you are to run the opposite way. And if you hear her cries, it could bring misfortune or death. Also, if you are a child, be extra careful, because she is attracted to children, thinking that they are hers. Since she thinks children are hers, she tries to drown them. Children should not walk alone around this river, just in case. Many parents in Mexico use this story to scare their children from staying out too late. At the gates of heaven, she was challenged over the whereabouts of her children and not permitted to enter the afterlife until she found them. She is forced to wander the afterlife for all eternity, searching in vain for her offspring. She constantly weeps, hence her name, La Llorona. She is caught between the living and the spirit world. In some cases, she kidnaps wandering children who resemble her missing children, asks them for forgiveness, then kills them to take place of her own. People who claim to have seen her say she appears at night or late evening by rivers or lakes. Some believe those who hear her cries are marked for death, but those who escape in time are not. She is said to cry out, "Oh, my."
Yes, as I said, the legend is, she says, ay, mis hijos, that will be in English, oh, my children, oh, my children. And yes, this story goes all over Mexico, and I think it scares Mexico a little bit. There is kind of a respect for La Llorona. I mean, it's a figure, you know. It's a story, it's the spooky story in Mexico. It has gone on for hundreds of years. I'm not sure how long that story apparently exists, but for sure for 100, 200 years, this apparently happened a few hundred years ago. So basically, there's not much to say. Is this real or not? Again, I don't know. But it's certainly possible that, again, if you see on the video, the short video we watched, she's trapped between the physical and spiritual world. Yes, the astral. Okay, the astral. That's what I say. The astral is the key here. I believe if you are going through the bridge of passing, you are in pure spiritual state, you haven't gone to your next experience, and you resist that, you stay there kind of floating, kind of embracing whatever happened. And if the story is true, that she drowned her children in desperation, her twins, a boy and a girl, and then she killed herself, that's why she left the physical world, that could very well explain, you know, that's certainly explainable, that she's staying there in this confused state of wanting to come back and resolve the issue. I mean, she has changed her mind about killing her children and that's why whenever you see these things happening, school shootings, all of these things that I know some of you think they're false flags, they're not even real. Who knows? Who knows? What I'm trying to say is, whenever you see these stories of mass shootings, mass killings, please send your love and light to these souls that have departed, are out there, maybe in the astral. So maybe they find their way. Okay. I remember sharing, I think it was with episode with Jeannie, that here in my office, I'm currently recording in my office, and it's like a mini plaza or something like that. It's just 3 floors and not that big. But there's this story that during construction, one of the construction workers was bringing every day to work his child, and that's very common in Mexico. Okay, if a child is not going to school, and and his father is a construction worker, well, maybe he needs to learn the trade or at least be outside of the house. So the child was playing and he fell from a height and died. Okay, so that certainly is textbook, possibility for a manifestation, and that one will be in the one, if you go back to the episode on ghosts that we have on Monday, that will be kind of the poltergeist one, the one that the energy stays there, that the being stays attached to the place of dying, if it's a physical place. So the story here, okay, is I haven't seen anything directly. It's very strange because we don't have any windows. We just have the doors. The offices don't have any windows. It's just a closed space. And sometimes there doesn't seem to be any stream of internal movement of air or anything like that. And doors, if they're open, we tend to close them because of that. Actually, if they're open, they will just move on their own. Is there something passing through there? Who knows? Is that the child moving the doors? Who knows? Other stories is on this particular place, no one likes to stay late. It's just a feeling, an intuition you have. And there's a place that, a barber shop. So they cut hair there, and one day I was just curious and maybe wanted to do some conversation. So I asked, "Do you know the story of the boy?" And he said, yes. I said, don't tell me about that because I stopped coming at night. He will get some clients that will say, "Hey, I need to see you at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I will pay more, but you need to cut my hair or dye my hair or anything at that time." And the reports are that they will hear laughing, they will hear crying, they will hear calling out for a father or something like voices, like a child voice. So all of that makes sense if you're out there in the astral and you're kind of manifesting on this world. Can they do more than that? Can they go evil on you? And maybe, there are these stories of people here in Mexico is very common. You say you don't speak about the dead because at night they're going to come and pull your legs. Okay, so I know it sounds a little bit funny, but apparently there's something to it. And so I don't particularly believe ghosts are necessarily demons. Actually, I changed my tune on that. There was a moment I believe there was just residual energy, not really a being, not really controllable, or demonic energy in a lower realm. Okay, not in the 4D, that's a different one. I'm talking about 1D and negative dimensions, density realities. So that's different because how do you access those cellars of realities? That's when you go rogue and rogue and rogue, and you do become a demon. So, for example, if you're a killer and then a killer again, and then you abuse people and you interfere with people and you break balance and you're just awful and awful and awful and awful afterlife, afterlife, afterlife. Eventually, the universe says you're not for this reality anymore. You are in a simpler way. Kind of, we need to send you back to school, okay, back to the lower levels. So you're able to behave, because you certainly are not able to behave on this reality. I know it sounds something childish, something like, very strange. It makes a lot of sense if you think of it. And that's what I think happens on the cellars of reality. And that's what demons will be. But they're out there in the cellars, okay? Can you call them out to here? Yes, and I think that operates through portals and, and Ouija boards have a saying on this. You don't need really a Ouija board, you just call them out. You just need to tune into their frequency. That's if you want to do it through your own free will, okay? I think with ghosts, it's a little bit different, that they were actually on their way to somewhere else and they're stuck on this reality and they're like not understanding. And I do believe that they are not aware they are dead, okay? So this is something strange because Alex, isn't death not real and just a passing? And yes, it gets very complicated. I don't believe they have passed. Let me rephrase that. It's not that they are dead per se, because spiritually you're never dead. I don't believe they're aware they have passed from this reality. They still have the persona, the imprint, the label. Alex is like me passing per Earth standards and still thinking I'm Alex and wanting back to being Alex and going back to my house and trying to put clothes on and trying to be a normal person in this reality when I'm not Alex anymore. I'm a spirit. Okay, does it make sense now? And I think that goes back to the manifestations and that. And maybe I'm able to turn the lights on and off and the television on and off, usually electronic stuff. Maybe turn the cell phone of my wife on and off. And you know what? The only thing I'm doing is scaring them. It's like what's going on. So a lot of families report this, okay? That when there's a passing of a close one, especially if it's a sudden illness, especially if it's an accident, especially if there's violence involved, then there are these manifestations of lights going on and off, music going on and off in the middle of the night, hearing noises, hearing little voices here and there. I think that these little manifestations is as far as these spirits can do to try kind of to say, hey, I'm here, I want to be with you, I want to go back. But they cannot go back. So the best thing is wish them well, send them your light and love, so they actually evolve. In a way, they find out they're going on the wrong way and they should go on the right way. And the right way is to the next experience. There's no way to come back. It's just this concept, you come back from death and that. And I know it goes back to Jesus Christ. It was not like that, okay? And I shared with a friend recently that I do believe that story of Jesus Christ is he knew he was going somewhere else. His passing was so calm in a way, not like we want to see it like he was, suffering for days and that. No, he went to his final experience as a beacon of love and guidance because he knew he was going there in a way. So I hope you enjoy this episode of The Legend of La Llorona. Very interesting stuff on this kind of ghost week. If everything is okay, I shall see you back on Friday with a chat I do believe we have Tony back, Tony Fridays with Tony. So please, I'll see you on that one. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please enjoy your Wednesday with family and friends. And if everything's okay, I shall see you back on Friday with Tony. Thank you very much. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.